Okay, so the week 4 of the human-computer interactions tackles about the cognitive aspect. So this is the week 4. When we're talking about the cognitive aspect, we're talking about cognition. So meaning it is a relating to being or involving a conscious intellectual activity. So that is a cognitive. Sa madaling salita, when we're talking about this, no, it is what we are thinking, reasoning, including remembering, imagining, or yung mga pag-learning ng mga words. It's all about in the brains. Pag sinabi naman natin cognitive thinking, it means that refers to the mental process of the brain that has been using to acquire yung process at yung information. Ina-allow din yung people para ma-learn at ma-remember and ma-reason out, ma-solve din yung problema at magkaroon ng decision making. So it encompasses different fundamentals brain functions like yung mga perception, yung attention, memory, and including yung critical thinking. So in short, based on the definition there, that cognition refers to the mental actions, or it is a process of obtaining knowledge through experience, observation, and the senses. So it enables yung mga individual na maintindihan kung ano yung meron sa mundo at kung ano yung gamit nito. Maintindihan natin at mai-act natin effectively para dun sa mga personal and professional uses. Okay? So how do cognitive processes? Meron tinatawag na mga process like yung mga cognitive skills. Sa mental process, yung cognitive thinking kasi, it is the overall activity of the brain para sa pag-iisip at pag-intindi, pati na rin sa pagtuto para matutunan. So, informations that involve in cognitive process, there should be attention, perception, memory learning, mga reading, speaking and listening, problem solving, mga planning, reasoning, and including decision making. Yung mga key cognitive skills ang tawag dyan. Sa perception, makikita mo dyan yung ability para makapamili, ma-organize din at ma-interpret kung ano yung mga meron stimuli dun sa environment natin, including the attention. Ang attention kasi is the ability para sa behavioral in terms of focus, no? Para ma-process natin yung specific information while ini-ignore natin yung mga distractions. So meaning we have true attention. But this type of behavioral and cognitive phenomenon are reflecting selectively on a particular aspect of knowledge, whether considered personal or logical, while ina-avoid yung mga noticeable information. Ang tawag doon is attention. Sa madaling salita, ito yung ability para mag-focus, mag-process yung mga specific information sa utak natin habang ini-ignore natin yung mga distractions. So we call it attentions. So for example, this one, attention is you need to find the price of the double room at the Holiday Inn in Bradley, while B, find the price of a double room at the Holiday Inn Colombia. So if you will be seeing here, for the double room at the Holiday Inn in Colombia, you will see here, dito sa column B natin, Colombia Holiday Inn, nandyan siya, 803-794-9440. So, ang kanyang double is 139. Okay? Then, find the price of a double room at the Holiday Inn in Bradley. So, you can see in Bradley Holiday Inn, we have number 9 here. So, in short, meron tayong attention to find that in those specific type of information. Those are samples. Now, let's do the design implications for attentions. Unang-una, it make information significant when it needs attending to. Pangalawa, yung mga techniques na yan that make things stand out like yung mga color, ordering, mga spacing, underlining, sequencing, and including animations are attractive to the brain. So that's why it focuses on those specific types of attention. Then we need to avoid cluttering the interface with too much information. Ayaw ng utak yan. Search engines and forms fills in that have simple and clean interfaces are easy to use, which is very easy to understand by the user. So in terms of these effective actions, by understanding the process of information, people can make informed decision and successfully complete those specific tasks because of those type of attentions. For example, in the search engines, very easy to use, but they will be doing it. So, in terms of cognitive aspects, yung mga mental abilities ng utak para mag-isip, para matuto, at para tumanda, they do pay attention to those type of specific problems. They want to solve those problems. Kaya nga it acts a tools para dun sa utak natin to process yung mga information para dun sa mundong ginagalawan natin. So these types of implications can be used. Note, during Toulouse in 1997, they found the two screens that produced on the different results. The first screen would took an average of 5.5 seconds to search, while the second screen, it took 3.2 seconds to search. Why? Because the display have the same density of information. So saan nagbago? In the spacing. So in the first screen, the information is bunched up together, making hard to search. While on the second screen, the characters are grouped into vertical categories of information, make it easier for them to search. Next, we have perception. When we're talking about perception, based on here, if we summarize, sum it up, this is the ability to select and organize. To select, organize, and including interpret yung stimuli from our environment. Meaning the sensory inputs para ma-represent natin. So nandyan, is the color contrast good? Find the Italian. Are borders and white space better? Find the French. So if you see the French word, you can see the French words, and here the Italian word, you can see the Italian. Basically, those types of perception are being to be selected, and you know that these statements are organized. We need to interpret on the environment. As you see on the perception of your eyes, of our visual, you can see the word Spanish and you can see the Italian from the first column up to the second column. That's how, when we're talking about this, in the essence, yung cognitive thinking in the active mental process na meron tayo ngayon, it enable us to comprehend it. Ma-analyze din natin at ma-interact. Na-transform natin from our visual to make it more meaningful knowledge and effective actions. Kaya nga sa madaling salita, it's very easy as to notice this because it's involved intellectual activity. For the design implications for the perceptions, for example, the icons, mga icons yan sa desktop, it should use users to readily distinguish their meaning. Some would be of the icons having a logo. Yung mga bordering and spacing are effective. It would be visual ways of grouping the information. While yung mga sounds naman, it should be audible and distinguishable. While the speech output should be enabled the users para ma-distinguish between yung mga set of spoken words. Yung text naman, it should be legible and distinguishable from the background. Tactile feedback should allow users to recognize and distinguish different meaning. So in Weller in 2004, found people took less time to locate items for information that was grouped using a border of the second screen compared with the using color in contrast in the first screen. So somehow, they argue to too much with the white space for web pages is detrimental to search, make it hard to find the information. So meaning, some of it, kung mga naka-bold yan or may naka-highlight, it can be easily find because of the visual content, knowledge na meron sa ating mata. So that is what we call selecting the stimuli in the environment. Next, we have the memory. Memory is one of the key cognitive skills, the process of acquiring na-stored at nare-recall natin yung information. Kaya nga nakalagay dito, memory is the brain faculty that encodes, stores, nakakapag-retrieve ng data and information, and it's a basis for learning over time in order after future action. Sa madaling salita, it is the process of acquiring. It is the process of storing and recalling the information. So that is a memory. Of course, it's on the brain. So for example, you try to remember the dates of your grandparents' birthday. So recalling. Try to remember the title of the last movie bought, rented, or watched. Recalling. After recalling, there would be the storing na i-stored sa utak natin, which was the easiest and why. People are very good at remembering visual cues about things. Yes, some of us remember through visual things through our eyes. They find it more difficult to learn remember arbitrary material. For example, mga phone numbers, birthdays, because the memory cannot proceed with those types of long coded numbers na hindi basta-basta madaling matutunan. Kaya nga somehow may mga tao mataas ang IQ, they know how to do it. What are the design implications for memory? Una, they don't overload users' memories with complicated procedures for carrying out specific tasks. Then, the design interfaces that promotes recognition rather than the recall. Then, provide users with various ways of encoding information to help them remember. Example, yung mga categories, kulay, mga flagging, and including time stuffing. So, somehow, ito yung mga keywords na tinatandaan natin. Those things about the implications for the memory. The another cognitive skills or learning. Learning is a method of developing new insights. Meron kang bagong natutunan, pwedeng experience, pwedeng behavior, talents, paniniwala, ugali, at mga desires. In cognitive psychology, ang learning kasi is understood as an active mental process. Pag yung individual nag-process, naiintindihan at nare-retain yung mga information by connecting it to their existing knowledge rather than just responding to the external stimuli. Yung key cognitive components kasi nito, ini-involve yung learning para sa attention. May perception at memory and problem solving din. So yung highlight ng importance ng internal thought ng process at nag-aim to na ma-foster at more effective yung meaningful learning experiences. They have the key aspects of cognitive learning. Those are the internal mental process na tinatawag. Kaya nga sabi nila, we connect ourselves to the existing knowledge. Yung core principle is a new information na more readily learned, madaling matutunan when it can be linked to what the person already knows. Kaya nga dito may mga prosthetic devices for in terms of cognitive. They rely more and more on the internet and smartphone to look things up. Artificial intelligence. Cognitive resources also extended in the mind. We also expecting to have the internet access reduce the need and extent to which we remember. This is how we call the metacognition. Yung thinking about thinking. So it's a crucial as it helps yung mga learner na re-reflect yung learning process para ma-improve yung comprehension and retention. And also nakakapag-enhance our memory for knowing where to find it online. So sometimes technology, there would be implications on how people will learn and what they will learn. Kaya nga sa cognitive learning theory, they ask us to think about thinking and how thinking can be influenced by internal factor. For example, the internet, diba? social cognitives mo and theories, behavioral cognitive. Dalawa kasi yan. Yung mga models ng mga paggamit ng internet and artificial intelligence. So when we're talking about this, the science implications for learning, those are examples that can encourage the, let's say, explorations. There would be design interfaces that constraints and the guide to learners. And dynamically, it linking the concepts of representation that can facilitate the learning of a complex material. Then we have the reading, speaking, and listening. Actually, these are skills. Itong mga skills kasi na ito, they are abbreviated as LSRW. Pwede natin sabihin listening, reading, and speaking. Somehow, writing can be done. So these are the, kung dadamay nyo rito yung writing, three fundamentals kasi itong reading, speaking, and listening eh. So under this one, yung listening and reading are receptive or passive, tinatawag. Passive skills yan. Natututunan natin yan. Listening and reading. Where yung mga information na receive natin at naiintindihan natin. So in contrast naman dun sa speaking, yung writing and speaking can be considered as active skills para yung mga language are ma-produce. Yung mga skills na to interconnected para sa crucial development ng language proficiency. Pag sinabing listening, we involves paying attention para maintindihan yung meaning at yung mga spoken words or comprehending notions like mga tono, mood, or including intentions. The ease which people can read, listen, or speaks different. So many of them, they preferred listening to reading. Yeah, somehow. Manonood tayo ng palabas. So we listen to that and we watch. There are two perceptive na gumagamit doon, which are visual and of course the hearing. Reading can be quicker than speaking or listening. Listening requires less cognitive of than reading or speaking. Dyslexics have difficulties understanding and recognizing written words. Those are some deficiencies. So the applications for this are speech recognition systems allows users to interact with them by asking questions. For example, we have the Google Voice and Siri. For the speech output system that we use artificially generated from speech, we have written text to speech system for the blind people. Then we have the natural language system that enables users to type in questions and given text-based response. Some of it are search engine, but right now we call them artificial intelligence. So the design implications for RSL are there are speech-based menus and instruction should be short. Di dapat mahaba. Accentuate the intonation of artificially generated speech voices para madaling maintindihan yung mga boses ng tao. Then we need to provide opportunities for making text large on a screen. Especially, di naman tayo lahat pare-parehas ng preferences pagbasa sa mga monitor screens. Then we have the problem solving, planning, reasoning, and decision making. So it involves reflective condition. So in this cognition, we are thinking about what to do and what the options are and the consequences. So problem solving and decision making, these are the process that we identify an issue. We need to analyze yung cause at makapag-generate tayo ng potential solutions. Si decision making naman is what we call the subsequent step para ma-choose natin yung best course ng action para dun sa mga solution based dun sa available facts or mga knowledge and judgment. So there are both critical in their interdependent skills, meaning they are interdependent, nakadepende sa isa't isa. So often, nagre-require ng critical thinking and information gathering para doon ma-address yung mga challenges at ma-achieve natin yung desired outcomes. So sa problem solving, nagde-define tayo ng problema, ginagather natin yung information, then we do brainstorm the solutions and evaluate those type of solutions. Then we do the proceedings, the decision making. The planning is there and the reasoning is there. So we gather the information as part of the planning process, and the brainstorming solution would be on the reasoning. We need to identify the decisions for the decision making. We need to gather the information also. We need to identify yung mga alternatives kung meron. Kasi baka mamaya may mga least various options na available. Then we need to weigh the evidence. Kailangan natin timbangin. Choose the best alternative if meron. We need to take actions and i-review natin yung outcome. So what are the design implications for PSPRDM? We need to provide additional information and action for users who wish to understand more about how to carry out an activity more effectively. Then we need to use simple computational aids to support rapid decision-making and planning for the users to move. So interrelations for this. Problem-solving, decision-making, planning, and reasonings are closely linked, and they are often performed together. So all of them rely on critical thinking skills and the use on how we gather the information. In many situations, such as mga business or organizational contexts, yung isang role might be responsible for both tasks, or there might be delegated to different types of individuals. Problem solving, yung nagpaplano, reasoning, including decision making. Then we have the externalizing factors to reduce the memory load. So externalizing, so these are times of behavior, including internalizing. No? Yung tinatawag nating internalizing to reduce, no? To reduce memory load. So these are some of diaries or reminders, calendars, notes, shopping list, to-do list. So maganda to kasi at least alam na natin yung gagawin. So it is already written and remind us of what to do. Kaya nga, externalizing to reduce memory load is a cognitive process where you upload yung mga information from the internal memory natin to external sources. Yung mga pagsulat o yung mga digital tools na meron tayo ngayon, no? Para ma-free up tayo sa mga mental resources for other tasks, ma-improve natin yung focus natin. Yung mga post-its, files, mark emails, sa mga yan, external presentation, representation. Mga technique na yan, they also known as what we call the cognitive offloading. So, ina-help to para ma-manage at ma-complex yung information para sa pag-create ng external representation such as yung mga pamimili, mga list, sa calendars or yung mga digital reminders. Para hindi na tayo ma-burden sa pagtatrabaho ng utak o in terms of memorizing. So what are the design implications for ERML or externalizing to reduce memory load? They provide external representation of the interface. So it reduces the memory load and facilitate computational upload. That's a good thing about this, no? So pag sinabi nating externalizing, it's about taking notes and creating reminders. Somehow, ang benefits ito maganda rin, yung nababawasan yung burden natin in terms of cognitive burden. You improve your focus, there will be better information for retention, and na-enhance natin yung task performance. Na you utilize sa madaling salita. And this would be the last, I think, for the cognitive aspects. And this would ends the cognitive topics or the cognitive aspects for the human-computer interaction or the week 4.